Not long ago, Ariana Grande seemed unstoppable. Every album topped the charts, every tour sold out, every new era became a global event. She wasn't just one of pop music's biggest stars, she was one of the defining artists of her generation. But today, the conversation surrounding Ariana Grande has changed. A single red carpet appearance can dominate headlines for days. A new interview sparks thousands of comments, and almost every new photograph leads to the same question. What happened to Ariana Grande? Some people believe the internet has become obsessed with criticizing a woman's appearance. Others insist they're simply worried about someone they've watched grow up in front of the world. Ariana herself has responded to the speculation. She asked people to stop comparing her body to older photos, explaining that the version of herself many considered healthy was actually one of the most difficult periods of her life. She reminded people that appearances rarely tell the full story. So why does the conversation continue? The answer isn't found in one photograph or one headline. It's hidden inside a journey that began long before the speculation, through extraordinary success, unimaginable tragedy, constant public scrutiny, and a life lived under one of the brightest spotlights in entertainment. To understand why millions of people are asking what happened to Ariana Grande, we first have to understand how she became Ariana Grande. Long before Ariana Grande became one of the biggest names in pop music, she was simply a teenager with an extraordinary voice and a dream of performing. Her career didn't begin on the radio, it began on the stage. Before television audiences knew her name, Ariana performed in the Broadway musical 13, where her vocal talent first caught the attention of industry professionals. Not long afterwards, she landed the role that would change her life forever. Kat Valentine on Nickelodeon's Victorious in 2010. With her bright red hair, quirky personality, and perfect comedic timing, Kat quickly became one of the show's most popular characters. The role proved so successful that Nickelodeon later launched Sam and Cat, giving Ariana her own spin-off series and introducing her to millions of young viewers around the world. But while television made her famous, music was always her real passion. During her time on Nickelodeon, Ariana regularly uploaded singing videos online, revealing a voice that few people expected from the bubbly sitcom character. Those performances quickly attracted attention across the music industry. Then, in 2013, everything changed. Her debut album, Yours Truly, entered the Billboard 200 at number 1, proving she wasn't just another child actor trying to become a singer. She was a genuine pop star. The years that followed felt almost unstoppable. Hit after hit climbed the charts. World tours sold out. Awards continued to pile up. Her signature high ponytail became one of the most recognizable looks in modern pop culture. To millions of fans, Ariana Grande represented confidence, talent, and unstoppable success. From the outside, it looked like she had built the perfect career, but while the world celebrated her success, another conversation was quietly beginning. At first, hardly anyone noticed it. Soon, it would become impossible to ignore. By the middle of the 2000s, Ariana Grande had accomplished what most artists spend an entire career chasing. She wasn't just making hit songs, she was defining pop culture. Every album became a global event, every tour sold out, and every new era introduced a different version of Ariana to the world. But as her career continued to grow, so did the public's fascination with something that had nothing to do with her music: her appearance. The first signs appeared around 2013 when fans began commenting that Ariana looked noticeably different from her Nickelodeon years. At first, the conversation was relatively small, but it marked the beginning of a pattern that would follow her for years. As her image evolved, so did the public's attention. The bright red hair disappeared. The signature high ponytail became part of her identity. Her fashion changed. Her makeup became more refined. With every new album came a new look, and with every new look came endless comparisons to the version of Ariana people already knew. Eventually, the discussion expanded far beyond hairstyles or fashion. Social media users began analyzing her. Wait, comparing old and new photographs, speculating about cosmetic procedures, even debating changes in her skin tone. Every public appearance became another opportunity for millions of strangers to examine someone they had never actually met. For most celebrities, criticism is part of fame. But Ariana's experience was different. People hadn't just watched her career, they had watched her grow up. That created a feeling of familiarity, as if longtime fans could recognize even the smallest change. Looking back, those conversations seemed harmless, just another consequence of living in the spotlight. But they quietly established a habit that would grow far more intense in the years ahead. Because while Ariana's career continued reaching new heights, life was about to confront her with challenges no amount of success could protect her from. And after those events, the conversations surrounding Ariana Grande would never be the same. From the outside, Ariana Grande's career looked unstoppable. Every album was bigger than the last. Every tour attracted millions of fans. She had become one of the most recognizable artists in the world. But in 2017, everything changed. On May 22, 2017, Ariana had just finished performing at Manchester Arena in England. As thousands of fans were leaving the venue, a suicide bomber detonated an explosive device near the exit. 22 people were killed, hundreds were injured, and many of the victims were children and teenagers who had come to see their favorite artist. Although Ariana was physically unharmed, the emotional impact was profound. She immediately suspended her tour and returned home. Later, she revealed that she struggled with symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, describing the months that followed as some of the darkest of her life. But instead of disappearing completely, Ariana made a decision that earned admiration around the world. Less than 2 weeks after the attack, she returned to Manchester to organize the One Love Manchester benefit concert, raising millions for the victims and their families. It became one of the most powerful moments of resilience in modern music history. Just as life seemed to be moving forward, another devastating loss arrived. In September 2018, rapper Mac Miller died from an accidental drug overdose. Although the two had ended their relationship months earlier, Ariana suddenly found herself facing intense online criticism from people who unfairly blamed her for his death. At nearly the same time, her highly publicized engagement to Pete Davidson also came to an end. Within little more than a year, Ariana had experienced a terrorist attack at her concert, the loss of someone she once deeply loved, and the collapse of one of the most talked about relationships in entertainment. Yet she kept working. She released new music. She continued performing. And from the outside, it appeared as though she was moving on. But grief doesn't always leave visible scars. As Ariana prepared for the biggest acting opportunity of her career, fans began noticing something else. This time, the conversation wasn't just about what had happened to her life, it was about what seemed to be happening to her. For years, Ariana Grande had spoken about one dream above all others. It wasn't another #1 album. It wasn't another world tour. It was Glinda. Long before she became one of pop music's biggest stars, Ariana had described playing Glinda in Wicked as her dream role. So when she was officially cast alongside Cynthia Erivo, it wasn't just another career milestone. It was the opportunity she had been waiting for since childhood. Preparing for the role meant more than learning lines and songs. Her appearance began to change. The signature high ponytail that had defined an era of pop culture became less common. Her platinum blonde hair, softer makeup, and more understated style reflected the world of Wicked. As filming continued, many fans also noticed that she appeared significantly thinner than before. At first, the discussion stayed mostly within fan communities. But as Wicked promotions began, Ariana returned to red carpets, interviews, and award shows, and suddenly millions of people were seeing those changes at the same time. Every appearance sparked the same debate. Some believed the transformation was simply part of preparing for an emotionally and physically demanding role. Others wondered if something more serious was happening, behind the scenes. Then another controversy intensified the public attention. In 2023, reports emerged that Ariana was in a relationship with her Wicked co-star, Ethan Slater. The timing of the relationship dominated entertainment headlines for weeks, shifting public opinion and bringing even greater scrutiny to every aspect of her personal life. As the headlines grew louder, so did the speculation. Doctors who had never treated her, influencers who had never met her, and millions of strangers online began analyzing her health based solely on photographs. Eventually, Ariana decided to respond. In a personal video shared with fans, she asked people to stop commenting on other people's bodies. She explained that the version of herself many people remembered as healthy was actually one of the lowest points in her life. She reminded viewers that appearances reveal very little about a person's physical or mental well-being and urged people to choose kindness over assumptions. For many people, her message was clear. For others, it changed nothing. The conversation continued, because by this point, the story had become bigger than Ariana Grande herself. It had become a story about the internet's belief that it could understand someone's entire life from a single photograph. After following Ariana Grande's journey, from a Broadway performer to a Nickelodeon star, from one of the biggest pop artists in the world to the center of endless online speculation, one thing becomes clear. The biggest story isn't whether Ariana Grande has changed. Of course she has. The real question is why so many people believe they know why. For more than 15 years, millions of people have watched her grow up in public. They celebrated her biggest successes, witnessed unimaginable tragedies, followed her relationships, watched every reinvention, and somewhere along the way, admiration slowly turned into familiarity. That familiarity created the illusion that the public could understand someone's life simply by looking at a photograph. But Ariana has repeatedly pushed back against that idea. She has reminded people that health cannot be diagnosed from appearance alone, and that the version of herself many people believed looked healthier was actually one of the most difficult periods of her life. Her message was simple: be careful about making assumptions based on what you think you see, whether people accept that message or not. It forces us to confront a larger question. In the age of social media, have we become so used to watching celebrities that we've forgotten they're still human? Maybe one day, Ariana Grande will choose to tell the full story in her own words. Or maybe she won't. Until then, every new appearance will likely bring another wave of headlines, another round of comparisons, and the same question people have been asking for years. What happened to Ariana Grande? The truth is, only Ariana Grande knows the complete answer, and perhaps respecting that uncertainty is the most honest answer any of us can give.